young leader, Samir Somaiya, most respected Srimati Leelaben Kotak, Dr. Mrs. Medha Dixit, Mr. Ranganathan, Professor Pradhan, respected teachers that I see in the front rows here, were just honored. My young friends who have made this campus so vibrant, it was so wonderful to see the torchbearers walk with tremendous youthful energy, creating a new smell and a vibrancy and energy in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say it's a great honor, it's a great privilege to have been invited to come today. In fact, its origin goes back to the meeting I had with Samir around 3 months ago in National Chemical Laboratory, which was in connection with the biorefinery project that we are doing together. I was just thrilled to hear the progress that this path-breaking project has made under Samir's leadership, and it was at that time that he mentioned to me about the Silver Jubilee celebration of this great institution. And without hesitation, of course, I said yes to him. It was a question of just fitting in the time, and I'm delighted that I had this big fortune of being with you this morning. Let me begin first of all by congratulating you on this wonderful journey of 25 years, this glorious journey, and wish you all the very best for the next 25 years, the Golden Jubilee celebration. I don't know whether I'll be around in 25 years' time, but if I am, I will come. I think we must begin by first recalling the great leadership of Sri K.J. Somaiya, who has been the founder of this trust 1953, more than around 55 years ago, which laid the foundation for setting up such institutions. And I love what he believed in, which was what you receive from the society, you must give it back. I think it's a very, very noble statement indeed. And if each one of us, each one of the 1.2 billion Indians practice this, giving back to the society what they receive in the society, what a great nation India would be. So I think we should recall this inspiring message from this inspiring leader today. Also, this message about knowledge alone liberates is so important. You know, people look at 21st century and they say 21st century is going to be the century of knowledge. People of course dub me as a dangerous optimist, but I have always said that 21st century is going to be India's century. And why do I say that? Because it's going to be a century of knowledge. Indeed, going beyond that, it is going to be a century of mind. And where else do you have minds that are better than Indians? It is the Indian mind, which is going to rule supreme in the 21st century. If you look back on different countries at different points in history, and you see how they grew, for the United States of America, their economic growth was triggered by roads and railways. If you look at Britain, it was textiles. If you look at Sweden, it was timber and timber products. If you look at Denmark, it was milk and milk products. If you look at Middle East, it was oil. Now if you ask me what is going to be the oil for the 21st century, as far as India is concerned, I would say it is Indian mind. It is Indian talent, like the one that you see in abundance here. Now it is nurturing of that talent is going to be the big challenge which these great education institutions like the K.J. Somaiya College does. I said it is going to be the century of mind, the 21st century. But let me re-emphasize that it's not just the Indian mind alone, it is the Indian mindset. Unless we develop an Indian mindset of the 21st century, I don't think we can make 21st century our own. And in fact, I'm sorry to remark that as far as India is concerned, it's a battle of Indian mind versus Indian mindset. It is Indian mind which takes us into the 21st century. And it is our Indian mindset which draws us back into the 14th, 15th, 13th century. Indian mindset long time ago, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. People talk about global village now. We talked about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam centuries ago. You know. In fact, Jnaneshwar said, "Hey Vishwachi Madegara," the entire world is my home. That was the feeling. That is Indian mind. But what is Indian mindset? You know, somebody was joking on the other day. He said, you know, if you take one Japanese plus one Japanese, they make 11 Japanese, not 2, 11. But if you take one Indian plus one Indian, you know how many do they make? 0. Somebody said 0. We invented 0, right? Because they neutralize each other. Okay? So Indian mind taking us into the 21st century, Indian mindset taking us back into the 13th, 14th century. Look at, for example, Indian mind. It created nano. Alright, the car. You go anywhere around the world, they talk about nano as a paradigm shift. The whole world is abuzz with excitement with regard to the creation of nano. It's a paradigm shift. As a president of IKME in UK, I was doing my presidential duties in honoring two of the greatest individuals in UK. One was Sir David King, who is scientific advisor to the Prime Minister of UK, and the other one Lord Nicholas Stern, who wrote this great paper on the climate change and its trade and economic implications. Two great people. And you know, in the return speech, each one of them referred to nano as a game changer. As a game changer which is showing, it's not a car, it's a symbol. It's a symbol. I'll come back to that a little later. That's a product. That's Indian mind. What is the Indian mindset? Nano is not being allowed to be produced in the country. That's what is holding us back. Now therefore, Samir, one of the great challenges that institutions like this they are going to have is not only building the Indian minds, but building Indian mindsets. Those mindsets which are positive, which are unafraid, which are liberated, which open up, which are not afraid of foreign competition, which are not secluded, which are inclusive, which appreciate diversity, for example, of caste, of religion, of views. Alright? How do you build that? How do you build those values? I think that's going to be an essential part of education. So, let me begin by saying that 21st century will be India's, provided the Indian minds and Indian mindsets, they belong to 21st century. I have no problem about Indian minds at all. It's a question of building those Indian mindsets, which must be built right from the school and the college level. I'm going to tell my young friends here that you belong to a very, very lucky generation. Very lucky generation. You know, I'm an old man now and I feel really envious when I look at the young people because